How's it going, guys? ThunderBuddy01 here. Do you want to provide extra support to the ThunderBuddy01 Media Network? Do you have extra cash lying around? Become an official ThunderBuddy superfan today. For just $2.99 a month, you will get access to members-only perks, such as shoutouts, exclusive badges and emojis, priority replies to your comments, and when ThunderBuddy01 himself feels like it, early access to new videos. Do not delay, join now. You can use the link in the top of the description, or the blue join button. And as always, strike them likes, flood that subscribe button, and twist that notification bell. KXI89 be like, hey baby.
How's it going, guys? ThunderBuddy01 here. I figured I would make a little bit of a different type of video for you guys this time around. So, this video is going to be talking about technology and how it's impacted my life, especially both before the pandemic and during my childhood. And I'll also be talking about how it has affected me since then. Because, well, we're living in a world where technology is like the go-to for most things in our life. It could be a simple Google search, communicating with like friends from whether it be close by or far away. It's really taken on multiple different forms that back, say, 20, 30 years ago were practically like unthinkable. But let's just say that for convenience sake, it has definitely affected my life in multiple ways. So let's get started. Widespread use of technology before the pandemic, especially during my childhood, was a relative blur for me. All I focused on back then was getting to and from school, socializing with my classmates, getting homework done, and occasionally spending time with families at outings. But in order for me to communicate with my classmates outside of school, I'm gonna feel old just by saying this, I had to use the landline. And as I ventured into my early teenage years, following me getting my first smartphone, I had to get permission and obtain approval from my parents to sign up for additional social media platforms. And after numerous instances of begging my parents to let me sign up for the other platforms, especially those that my classmates were using, like Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, I was finally able to connect more. And go figure, that was when my parents stopped caring about what platforms I wanted to sign up for. But with my newfound access to the realm of social media, I started to join multiple online communities that revolve around my main interests: monster trucks, weather radios, severe weather, and the EAS, and Splatoon. The monster truck community I joined back in 2012, so I was around 11. I hadn't made that much content on my YouTube channel at the time, but at the time I was able to interact with people through gaming services like Roblox and communication services like Skype. And this was way before Discord was a thing, so bear with me here. So there were a few bumps in the road that I had in the monster truck community, but I had a relatively good time there. I'm still sort of active, but just like on a part-time basis because, well, I do have a life. But there's some people that I've actually started to reconnect with recently, and it's just like, it feels just like old times. And for that, I'm like really grateful for. Now the weather radio, severe weather, and EAS community. This I joined in October of 2014, so I was like literally starting 8th grade at the time. It was definitely interesting. I got to see a lot of these weather radios just alerting from people for severe weather, and there's people that actually like to record them, whether it be for archive purposes or even just like to say, hey, this is what I'm interested in. And that's actually what kind of drove me to start this channel. Or at least give it a really good kick, and so I could get a bigger fan base. I mean, let's be real here. Like 2012 me did not have a good following, but now it's like, I mean, I'm at 2,600 followers, which, by the way, thank you. I really appreciate that. But anyways, I'm rambling. So the EAS community I joined back in 2014, I saw a lot of people filming these weather radios. I thought it was cool, and I wanted to do the same thing myself. And let it be known that I guess almost 8 years later, I'm still doing the same recording, and yeah, I might just have one of the largest collections in New England. I will say that right now. Then the Splatoon community I joined in March 2020. Granted, I'm focusing more on like Splat source like Gary's mod. I tried getting into SFM, but it just would not work. Source Filmmaker is just buggy for me. I don't know why. But needless to say, after I joined those communities, that's where I've noticed my life start to take on a huge change. And normally I'm not okay with big changes, but this is one of the rare instances where I was actually happy with these changes that I was having. I was starting to meet more people. I was starting to like discover new ways to talk with them. I got to share my interests without feeling like I was like being an outcast, so to speak. And I just made a lot of memories with people. And like my biological family, those friends that I've met have been there for me through some of my darkest moments, and they cheered me on during my brightest. And with the help of my friends and family, I was able to power through pretty much the rest of middle school and pretty much go through like high school all at once. The toughest years for me were junior and senior year of high school because, well, normally that's the time where you're thinking about applying for colleges and whatnot. And normally you'd be worried about losing the friends that you met in high school. I mean, yeah, it'll happen, but the difference is the people that you've met online, at least in my case, they've been there for me since like day one. And they also cheered me on when I was enrolling and finally participating as a full-time student at Alberta's Magnus, which, by the way, I'm actually about to start my senior year, which is absolutely crazy. But not only that, but also thanks to my subscribers, I was able to monetize my YouTube channel because I was just doing what I love, like collecting and recording weather radios, occasionally making Splatoon content, and I've been getting into gaming as well. By the way, regarding the last two, I will try to get another video like that out, but I've just had like little to no motivation to do so. But unfortunately, March 2020 rolls around. This is when things start to go downhill, because this was when we were notified that the coronavirus has pretty much hit our country. And because of this, a lot of places closed down, like restaurants, offices, schools, hospitals have been overwhelmed. But in my case, it was college that had me concerned, because they had closed down and all my classes went remote. They were asynchronous, which worked out for me because I like being able to be at home and just submit and do my work on my own time. But I didn't get to experience the full social interaction, which I guess is kind of a good thing because I don't really like talking to people in person anyway. I just like either freak out or just like remain silent the entire time. But it did make things a lot more challenging in my daily life, especially before the vaccine was made. But on the bright side, with the whole pandemic happening, this allowed me to communicate with a lot of my friends more. Like, online communication just like skyrocketed because everyone was going to like Blue Jeans, Zoom. I was still using Discord to talk with my friends, but like for classes, I would have to join Blue Jeans, or depending on the class, I would be joining Zoom. And this is just to like see the professor teaching what he has to teach, whether it be like a lecture on spreadsheets or environmental ethics. But essentially, online communication had definitely boosted. But this also allowed me to expand my horizons and not only grow closer with those that I've already met, but this also allowed me to initiate new friendships as well. And this is probably one of the best parts of online communication as well. So this has also allowed me to meet up with people that I met online in person. Now, some people would normally be like a little bit afraid of that because you don't know what the person looks like. Or you just might have some of those parents that are like, oh, you gotta be really careful, people online are bad people, which they're really not. But I was fortunate enough to actually see what my friends looked like because we have the use of webcams. And it took a lot of string pulling, but eventually I was able to meet up with people like Clay Ranger 143, NorCal Dude 599, and I actually was able to meet SBC Cranford himself. So already, you can see how technology has benefited me. I was able to make some of my dreams come true. And granted, it was pretty expensive. Those were probably some of the most amazing experiences of my life. My only regret is that sometimes they just weren't long enough. They were just like a few days to maybe even a few hours at best. But aside from that, those meetups and being able to talk with my friends in multiple online communities, they've really helped me evolve. Like, not just mentally, but also physically as well. Because, like, I've definitely been able to share a lot of memories with people. I've been able to talk with their families as well, and, like, introduce myself to them. It's pretty crazy, honestly. But yeah, that's pretty much how online communication and technology as a whole has really helped me. I completely missed over this. So, I mentioned that I'm in the Splatoon source community, which is like basically a Splatoon community, but making artwork through the source engine, like Gary's Mod, Source Filmmaker. So during 2020, I was actually watching a couple of animations involving these Splatoon characters. They'd be customized pretty much, like, it was pretty much like the sky is the limit. You could pretty much put anything you want on them now. Like, you could have them wear a hoodie and sweatpants, sunglasses, whatever. And I was really inspired by it, because, like, it took a game franchise that I was just starting to get into, and it applied some stuff that I had learned, at least at the time, at a 3D modeling and animation camp that I took back in 2012? I forget the exact year, but I know it was like a long time ago. But I was able to watch how these people made their creativity come to life. And I pretty much put my skills and just learned along the way, and helped and basically expanded my horizons just by doing some posters. I'll probably put some up here just for you guys to see, but this is just an example of some of the artwork that I've done. I've been keeping a lot of my stuff private because, like, I haven't been making that many posters as of recently, but it is definitely a huge boost in creativity aside from just recording radios. I love doing both, like both Splatoon stuff and weather radio filming, but it's always good to have like a good balance of both. It's really good to have a balance of anything if you're taking up multiple hobbies and interests. But anyways, now that I've talked a little bit about my Splat source, that's the abbreviation for the Splatoon source. I just call it Splat source because it's easier for me to say. But aside from that, that's pretty much how technology has affected me. It was definitely a lot of heartstring pulling to even sign up for YouTube. Like, I joined in 2010. This year is going to be like my 12th year on the platform, and this just started out for me just watching videos, leaving comments, and now I'm a content creator. And being able to talk with my friends that have similar interests to me, it's definitely helped out a lot. And had it not been for online communication platforms, I probably would not have had the skill set that I have now. Some people might say that it's just a hobby, but I feel like if you put enough time and dedication to it, it could turn into a career. But yeah, that's pretty much how technology's affected me. I really appreciate you guys watching through, and if you guys have any questions, definitely leave a comment. And as always, be sure to strike them likes, flood that subscribe button, and twist that notification bell. Also be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Those links will be in the description box below. And with that said, I will see you guys next time. Take care.